Okay, day 35, first stream kind of failed after just 30 seconds. Let's see if this gets any better. I hope the connection stays up correctly. I think it should, but let's see. Yeah, 1 second, I have to just double check. So that's day 35 working on this delete my data feature, which allows to delete everything, the data from the app. So there is a connect with Google button, and when you connect, you have an option to delete data. So I have a backlog here. Let's go in board mode. Right, this ticket has a few subtasks I created. Oh, they're not easy to see. What does it say here? Delete my data button. Okay, that's done. Cancel deletion button. Okay, that's done. Show what data will be deleted. Okay, so we have to work on this one. So just merge the branch to improve the CI type checking, and also remove the auth function v1 because they don't work in v2, and I would have to downgrade node 22 to I don't know what version below to make them work, so we'll not use them. And now that I've done that, I want to try deploy to see what happens. So let's do this in item just to have more space. So I go to the folder, right? And I go to functions, npm run deploy, and I see what will happen. This takes a while, so I might want to keep it in background. In the meantime, I think, okay, this is the cancel button I will have to introduce later. Now I temporarily removed. So we will have to think about, so the data is saved in Firebase. Let's have a look. FireStore, yeah, the Firebase database. So there is a user collection, a main event collection, which, however, it's already deleted the events are deleted every 3 days. So they don't need to go into this delete function. And the newsletter thing. So delete my data should delete newsletter subscription, or the other function before that is show data that will be deleted, will show newsletter subscriptions to the email connected to Google with which you just logged in, and show app data, but also we have to show whether or not the deletion is in progress. Okay, so for that, I have to think if I want to add a field here in user. We will have the advantage that it's easy to find for one user to say deletion in progress. if I add a field here. Um, However, then the script I will have to find, let's see, how's it going? The deploy, yeah, it's working fine, it looks like. Okay. Okay. So yeah, that's fine. Good to have checked. And also the CI. So we know where we start. The CI work correctly also for main, I think. I didn't see it yet. And that's the green tick. Yeah, so also main worked. Fantastic. So what I was thinking is to write this function. So let's see here, close all. Where is close all? Yeah. Um, let's see what functions we have already. And, there are quite a few already in handler. Yeah? So we have to be careful with the naming so I don't get confused. All right, and I was thinking, okay, if I put them here, yeah, this is fine. But then if I had to find which user need to be deleted from a script, then yes, I can always make a query where it's not enough to say that it's going to be deleted, but we have to say also when it will be deleted, which is like 5 days later, but then that time gets lower and lower as the time pass. So we can say, oh, it's be deleted in 4 days, 20 hours, let's say. Let's not say the minutes. Or maybe we cannot say the minutes, I don't know. But then I have only one trigger per day because triggers are expensive on Firebase, and you get 3 triggers per day for free, but that's it. So you don't want to make schedule function every 5 minutes. It's gonna cost a lot of money. That's crazy, but it's enough. What's this doing? GitHub Actions. I saw that before. What is it showing here? Can be updated? What? Disable, uninstall? Because the search is still on, isn't it? And then let's say restart extension, maybe because there are updates here. Okay, so let's see how the trigger function works. There is one function that is triggered. Hmm. And I think I have to do this a little bit different. So I go functions. Yeah, process events is triggered. But maybe, just maybe, if I do this way, I will keep on adding stuff that gets triggered. Or if I create a trigger function, yeah, a schedule function, that then calls other functions by HTTP. Will it work? Or should I add this in code and do, or should I add a new handler and a new on schedule method? Because I think Firebase on schedule or schedule free tier. Let's check that. We don't a free job, a free tier of 3 jobs per month. 3 jobs per month. Cloud function, first gen. Firebase require Blaze plan. Yeah. So I get nervous to use them. Hmm. What if I do scheduled TS? And that's the only function that will be scheduled. And we do something like that. And say schedule options will need to be imported also on schedule. Yeah, let's void this from the content. And that's would be scheduled. I'll change that so it's um yeah. Um then what if how long can a schedule function run for? Let's go to Gemini here and let's start a new chat. How long can a Firebase scheduled function like this one run for? I say like this one because I'm gonna copy the code, which is empty, but maybe it will tell me to add some more options. It's second gen, eh? You didn't have to ask. There was the import. Nine minutes. Oh, that should be plenty. That's crazy that they reduced the duration. I know it was also 9 minutes in fast gen. And what is the default? I understand. I don't care about. Okay. I don't care about V1, so don't even tell me about a cloud run. I think I'm fine with that, but I don't care about V1. Well, I understand that the max duration for V2 is 9 minutes, but I didn't understand what is the default duration. Mm. Aha, 67. Ah, let's do that. Instead, say set to the maximum, and we need to say maximum 9 minutes because even if we change that timeout, um, we don't need to update the comment because the maximum will be still 9 minutes, even if for 10 seconds. Okay, so we got that. So what I want to do is this process events, instead of being a handler, it's not a handler anymore, it's just a service. I move it here and Yes. And now we remove the scheduling and the options, yeah. Um, and we just create a process event function, events, which is already here, so I don't need to repeat it. Where I remove then I clean up a little bit. Okay, so it becomes a single function that is then exported, and it's the only thing that is exported. Great. We don't need that anymore. The import on top. Now our schedule function can call. Wait, my schedule function is called processed events, but yeah, we are scheduled. We have to rename it to scheduled. We need to go to index.ts and remove process. Oh yeah, we have to add scheduled. That was suggested. Yeah, great. Remove process events. It's not a function handler anymore. I don't know in which order I'm keeping them. I think there isn't one. Maybe it should be alphabetic. See, yeah, I think it was alphabetic. And update. Yeah. So that should be here if it's alphabetic. And it should be the same as here on the side. Contact, fetch, interest, mail event, scheduled, unsubscribe, update interest. Fantastic. Okay, so we have done that. We have to call process events in the schedule. But now, because this is generic, and I need to import it, I need to await it, or I can execute in parallel. But I think it's not needed. There's not that much to do. Add import, yes. Okay, so now we have basically moved stuff around. We are in the same situation. So we need a new service to do the deletion. But yeah, okay. Let's create a stub for it. And will be delete accounts. Delete account. Can be more than one, so maybe accounts. So there I create a function, same as this one, called delete accounts, where at the moment I would just do log, let's see the import. Yes, Firebase functions. Oh, what's happening? What I wanted it was logger. Oh, info deleting accounts is fine. So now I do import. I don't remember. Firebase functions to import logger from. Okay, I don't remember. So let's go to find in folder logger. Yeah, that's what I did. Isn't it? That's the same. But so why doesn't it work? What did I do wrong? I copied that. Ah, okay, yeah, and it was suggesting to use the braces. That's the only error. Okay, was almost there, but needed the braces. Okay, so if I quick, it's gonna trigger in a few minutes. So I won't change anything, or maybe I move this around a little bit so we can check the execution, and then I do npm deploy directly because I'm in a rush. I have to be in the right folder. I'm already in function. npm run deploy. So this deploys all the functions of Firebase before the trigger runs. So we can check while this deploying here. Yeah, should remove this process event functions and create a new schedule function. And the schedule function will call the process event. Oh, fuck. I forgot to call delete account. Delete, deletes accounts. Right. So because this is just logging something, it's not really that important. Now it's a stop. So I guess I can leave with that. I will just check if it gets triggered. So still updating. So yeah, I shouldn't see any changes yet. Not yet. Maybe I do a new deploy. So now to think, yeah, what I want to create an external table. Actually, it would be simpler to see, oh, there are these accounts to be deleted. So how do we call that table if I have that? So in FireStore database, new collection, yeah. Yes, they're called collection. Uh, could it be deleting? Surely not deleted because it's not deleted yet. Where are my notes? Yeah. Show deletion in progress and hours. No, days left. I'm thinking because if I do the deletion at a certain time in the day, then I will have to estimate is if I do our minute to next scheduled run. And it could be that if something doesn't make the deadline for a few minutes, it goes to the next day. Is that what we want? So we say we delete in 5 days, but it doesn't make the deadline for just 1 minute, 1 hour. That doesn't matter. Let's deploy again and to get the last update. Uh, then it becomes 6 days, isn't it? Mm. I think I can live with that, especially if I show how long it will take. But we'll have to do some math with the hours and the time, which is hard. It's hard to do because time zone and stuff. Okay, so what I want to do is create a new collection, FireStore collection called um, deleting is delete requests, but maybe deleting is shorter. Mhm. So I don't really have to create it. It's just for me to remember because when we write the first item, it creates in the collection. It creates the collection automatically. Hmm. And how far are we from the trigger? Just 10 minutes. Yeah. This is working. Okay. So if I go in the functions list, by the way, that should be updated now. And we see scheduled every day 8:35. Okay. It doesn't say the time zone. Interesting. So how this data will look into deleted? In deleting, I will have ID will be the, how do you call that when I go users authentication? Um, user UID, user UID. No, just the one U. And then we'll have fields. They will have scheduled date or this. Yeah, the scheduled date or date time, which we call it something like delete timestamp, maybe. Okay, so now we have the updated function there. That's great. Timestamp. It's confused. It looks like delete timestamp is the timestamp when it will be deleted. It has been deleted. Instead, this is the minimum timestamp when it can be deleted. Mean delete timestamp. Yeah, maybe that works better. Yeah. Okay, okay. So this is just a little bit thinking ahead, but in reality now, yeah, the reason why I need to think ahead about that is because if I write a new function to return this information, yeah, maybe I can mark that saying not deleting. I think that would be reasonable. But then I will have to when I implement the saving of the deletion, I will have to fetch this data instead. So show what data is being um, the min delete timestamp is not the same thing on when it's scheduled. That's just the min delete timestamp. I will check. Can we delete? Let's not give two names. Min delete timestamp and the schedule timestamp will be different, will be greater than uh, min delete timestamp by at most 24 hours. Maybe we can save both. Maybe we can say just the schedule timestamp because that's the only thing that matters. Maybe we can save both just for easier debugging. Why did you come to this? You know. Mhm. I kind of regret these subtasks are not visible. Is there a better way to rename? Show what data will be deleted. I kind of regret that. Let's do this. Why is the whole mark to do? I marked them as done before. Done. Oh my god, why I cannot even click on done now? Okay, you know what? Let's remove these stupid tasks from here. And we create fully fledged tick. No, come on, shut up. Not talking to you. Uh, uh, right, let's create separate task. But there are subtasks still I deleted. Oh, so actually they were maybe not that bad because I could have. Okay, never mind. Let's create proper tasks. So what I need is this. Show what data will be deleted. Or better, the task would be create a function or just function to retrieve data, user data, user data to be deleted. So that function will have this return data that would be maybe deleted, maybe not. Show deletion in progress to next schedule run. Yep. If or not. Well, if it's in progress, show, otherwise not show. Show newsletter subscription, show up data. Okay. Let's call it fetch then in same fashion of that one. These functions will have to be renamed to be more explicit. Anyway, fetch is fine. Fetch user data. Yes. Maybe not. Okay, so we create a handler for it. HTTP handler. So we don't have an example here, but we have it here. So I know the proper way to do the cross header will be as a filter, but I've done it like that. I don't want to change. Do we need a poster? I think we need a get for this one. So let's say get. Let's do some importing on request. Good. Cross headers. Good. Okay. So why is this complaining? Because of parentheses. Okay, now is syntactically correct. It doesn't do anything yet. So we want to get an argument, but not in the body. I'm looking how to read the request parameters. I never remember. Done a few times. Yeah, they're all post. Are they all post? The fetch interested should not be post. There you get. There you have it. It's checking get. Okay, there you have it. This is an example how to get parameters. It's a bit overkill to put the type here because if I remove it, I just wanted to be explicit again, but it's still a string. So something like that. So I go here and I get instead the user ID and call it, yeah, we could call it UID. How is Google calling it? Uh, user UID. But user ID works just as fine. Right, it's suggesting to run a check for user ID to be existing. That's fine. Maybe we'll have to, refactor this code a little bit later, but uh what's this fetch user? You just made it up, I guess. I guess you made it up. I don't have any fetch user anyway, isn't it? Let's see the service I got. Cloud function. What does it do? Oh, okay, just definition. Calls delete accounts. That's the new function, just logging. Okay, we'll check if it runs soon. Firebase. Okay, just utility. Interested DAO. Okay. Mail events DAO, process events. And SES. Okay. So mm, that's good. That's good. Well, I need the coffee, I guess. So this is checking if the user ID is there. And now, oh, where was my copy here? Show deletion import, no, show new scratch subscription and show update. So the user ID is not the email, so we have to go to the table or the collection where I go FireStore. Users and find a user by key. So I go, let's go check. Let's create a new DAO. I suppose that maybe I should create a DAO folder would be clearer in addition to service. So let's do that. New folder, DAO. And I move the interested DAO, data access layer. And yes, mail events DAO. Because now I have a new one. So at 3, maybe I realize it's the case to do that. Update imports, yes. Any else? Any else? No? Okay. So, ooh, it didn't update the imports very well, isn't it? I guess Firebase, should I move it to down? Because it's not really yes, there is the DB. It's not really service. It's kind of something else. I will move it to down. Just because it's a low level stuff. Okay. So let's see how it looks like. It should be able to do that. Why is it not working? Ah, because maybe these are not saved. Let's save this and start to close everything and open again, maybe. Okay. So open Firebase, no problem. Import interested though, it can't open Fire. It can import Firebase. Why not? And it just says, oh, cannot find is out of the screen, isn't it? Cannot find module Firebase JS or its corresponding type declaration. It says move to service. What if we do npm run build? Is that the issue because it's confusing? Okay, there are some other problems. Uh, cannot oh, so it didn't. Okay, VS codes for TypeScript at least sucks in refactoring, yeah? Because I did this refactoring that should be taken care, but they don't work. It sucks. Maybe it's a TypeScript problem, no, VS Code problem, but so this is in DAO. One. Then what about this one? At least I can click on it, DAO. And you know what? Let's execute it again to see the clean list of errors. Okay, let's pick this one from here, meant. So it can't resolve interested DAO from process events because yeah, the suggestion is good. Close all. Let's do close all. Okay. Let's do another one. There you go. And there I will suggest to go in DAO. I will do it myself quicker. Again, how many errors are left now? Not sure. One, just one. So this one go down. Excellent. So now the build will work. So the errors that we were seeing before, they didn't make sense. They are still there. Huh? Why is it even there? Why is it just dot dot? Because it's clearly there. You know what we do? Start to first I didn't have a branch. I don't have a branch yet. I'm still on main. It's time to start to think what I'm doing. The whole overall goal was this ticket. I did change a bit of stuff, but yeah, that's the branch. So the branch should be check out FMB fetch user data, which I didn't create yet, or did I? Yes, I did. Fetch user data. Okay. Ooh, yeah. Let's add all this stuff and let's commit and push so we can see if this fails in the CI. So we have to create a PR. No, in Chrome. Create a PR. Fetch user data. No, adjust everything. It's just saying, you know, you got this, you got that. Okay, so the CI started. Because I don't understand, is this VS Code getting confused? Should I go back up here, do npm run build and do a fresh build? I don't understand how that import can fail. If it does fail, I want to see the failure here in the CI. Otherwise, let's restart the windsurf as well. Close, reopen. Let's give it time. Sign into GitHub to access the repository action workflows. Okay. No, man, no, no, no. I have to change my default browser. It's causing me so much grief. Okay, let's copy that code there. Let's copy the URL. Paste it here. Okay, continue. Now we copy the code in, which is just a single use code, so can be shown. Continue. Authorize windsurf. Okay. Authorize. So many steps. Okay, that wasn't too painful. Alright, now I don't know what's the advantage of that, but it's there. Okay, so now I can delete the code. And the CI just worked. And in fact, Windsurf now works as well, so it was just stuck. So restarting it did the trick. Right, so the point of creating a DAO folder is that because I needed a new DAO for the new table or new collection being called deleting. Now I see it again, it doesn't look that good. Interested, many events. Yes, okay. So let's create a deleting DAO. Delete queue. There is nothing. Delete, delete queue. Okay, let's delete. DAO. Rename. Excellent. So now, yeah, let's do that. Just to not use hard-coded values. No, it's hard-coded, but I mean literal strings. We'll need a database. Yes, we will. Okay, now it says not in use, but just wait a second. We'll probably need that. Okay, so let's see. We have a find by key somewhere. Mm, Kind of this. Um, it's not attached, but what I mean is accessing by doc ID, so you can change this to instead of update to do something else. And also the logger, yeah, maybe we need the logger. See what create, save, generate code, delete by doc ID, fine. Fetch by doc ID. Okay, that's more like it. Yeah. Okay, let's copy this as an example, retrieve by key. Yeah, deleting collection. Okay, of course, the rest does not really make sense. We need to import the log and update the log message. Excellent. So it's not touching interested doc, but yeah, it's trying to fetch uh, for user ID. Okay, fetch deleting by user ID, maybe you can say. I know it's a doc ID, but it's more friendly for the user. That's what matters anyway. So this fetch by doc ID goes to okay, that's for the email. And then we don't have anything to look in the app data yet, which is called users. Then when we get users, are we going to say how many events you are? Because if you check that in the logs, if you want to, uh, let's check these questions. Yeah, new chat in FireStore. If I, how can I ask for how many items are in a collection without enumerating all of the items? Okay. Um, let's say my collection is slash user ID slash logs. You're asking a great question that highlights the common challenge in NoSQL database like FireStore. For a long time, the only way to get a count of items in FireStore collection was to retrieve all the documents and count them on the client side, which is inefficient and costly, especially for large collections. Okay, yeah, clearly you don't want to do that because this collection have thousands and thousands of items. The count function, okay, but it's still going through. Okay, so let's see, just like that. That's very neat. Okay, that's good to know. But I don't need it now. It's for the next one. Fetch deleting by user ID, that will need to be exported. A parameter will have to have a user ID and no email. And we log here user ID, we use user ID here as doc key. Export, not exported. Right, we're almost there. So now, I suppose if there is data there, then we say user ID is the doc ID, even though we already know it's the same as the user ID if there is data. I can use either, doesn't really matter. And then the other one, if we have both, let's say you have both, we have this. It's not a subscription type. Maybe I will introduce a type. I will see. Okay. So this would be mean the timestamp, schedule timestamp, but not as a string. Wait a second. This comes out as what? As a string. Okay, that's good. But this is a timestamp. Let's leave it like that for now, and we'll see when we save this stuff. I think I don't want to return null. I want to return a deleting true. And in this case, I want to return a deleting false. And what I'm thinking is I would have to duplicate the return there unless I find a better way to do that. Okay, let's do with the duplication first, and then maybe we ask the AI or we figure out a better way. Well, let's start simple. Simple is the duplication. So I copy this stuff over and I remove this. Will be just these two. And again, doc does not exist, so I can't access doc ID. I have to use the user ID. Could use the user ID too here. And actually I can even do this. And, use the short version. So yeah, I paste that. Okay. So okay, let's ask the AI. We're gonna ask Claude for now. Claude, I need your help. So let's start a new chat. It's not clear how. Yeah, here you go. New chat. In this code, TypeScript code, I duplicated the return value in case the document was not found. How to avoid that? Introduce new methods of new functions if necessary. And that's the code. The dog doesn't exist. Yeah, or doesn't have data. That shouldn't happen in the second case, but yeah. Whoa, oh, oof, ooh, ooh, so much. Calm down. Allora, a few approaches. I recommend approach one with the helper function. Approach two in a single check. I don't think so. Let's have a look at approach two. And that's an approach one. So approach one. Yeah, we create that. Okay. Approach two. I like approach two a lot. So here we have Yeah, that's so much better, man. I like it. So is data doc exists doc data or null? So now we don't need any of that. And now we can just do if not data. I think I copy this from interested DAO. We can improve that as well. Copy that bit. We remove this code. Nice. Yeah, that's fine. So that's just the DAO. The function was fetch user data. And we are just at that point. And we were pressed to say deleting. And now, even though we don't have a collection or anything in it, if we call this, we can call it already, it will just return deleting false all the time, which is fine to start. So let's do that. Await fetch deleting by user ID. User ID being the one we just extracted from the parameters. It said, okay, the problem is we need to import it. Fetch deleting by user ID from DAO, deleting DAO. Excellent. So gonna have a coffee break and go on. It's 1 hour, but I really need a coffee to be more productive. Well, precision. Okay. So got my coffee. So now we created this fetch user data, which doesn't have anything in this collection. What's he doing here? What's Solid suggesting? No, no, no. Wait. Can you disable this suggestion? Just confuse me. Because you get a suggestion, right? But and then you have to read and evaluate and think what's it trying to do. And you see, man, that's not what I want to do. You know, back off. So I put them on slow because they increment your cognitive overload. I think here autocomplete speed is slow. Mm, But yeah, maybe can even snooze. What does he snooze? Snooze for 10 minutes. Snooze what? The autocomplete? I think. Not clear. Probably. Yeah. Yeah, for 10 minutes. It's too hot now. So this is like the delete record. Deleting. The problem now is like it's not based on a type. Oh yeah, kind of. It's inferred. That's awful. Uh, user delete info maybe. And is deleting maybe. Okay, so let's start to say this will return. What will return? Hold on. Let's say fetch interested. Um, response. Yeah, that's what I want to do. JSON something. Yeah. So we return that in that way. One thing to return is if it's deleting or not. Then I will add user the info is deleting. I can add those timestamps too. What I'm considering is to just spread that one, or even nest it. Maybe nesting is better. So just go back to deleting and we say, yes, put that in the response, the whole thing. Nice. That's a start. Actually, let's use that. Let's not go overboard. Let's use that in the front end. Because in the front end, I had to display a button to delete if it's not deleting, or a button to cancel if it's deleting. What was the point of this ticket still? It was just the function to retrieve the user data to be retrieved. Kind of changing it. I'm doing it more organically. I'm switching to the front end now. I think I like that approach. These tickets are more to remember what I have to do than if I change a little bit, it's fine. So let's see, where is the terminal? should be toggle panel. Okay, terminal. Yeah, okay. So I have in a branch as fetch user data. Yeah, well, we did. We fetched the deleting status, which would be always false. Front end. Let's figure out this out. I think the front end page that's already doing some bit of a call. Oh, well, we have in the front end utils an API file which does the call to the API. With some tests. I don't know how valuable are these tests. My API doesn't stay open. API. I double clicked it. If I go, how do you say structure? Isn't there a way here to see the structure of the file? Explore, search, source control, run and debug, extension testing. Ah, there you go, outline. It's down there. Okay. There you go. Call interested API, call update interested API, call fetch interested API, and call contact API. Yeah, the call interested API, now think about, should be called subscribe. Because I have to rename the function too. It's not even clear the interested function and digress here. Functions, handlers. It's doing a couple of things in reality, isn't it? Yeah, it's not great. It's doing a couple of things. That's another problem. So now I can't even name it correctly. But going back here, the reason why I'm looking at this outline and bitching about it is because I want to think about what's the name of the next function. The next function will be just call fetch user data. That's straightforward. So yeah, let's put it here at the end. Export const call fetch user data equal async. Ah, okay. All right. So we'll have one single parameter, which is the user ID string. Okay. That's the start. Then it's a get function. Let's see if I have a get already in here as example two. Do not. Don't have a get yet. I need also a new URI for the new function. So that would be fetch user data URI equal dev and leave it blank for now. So what I want to do is to deploy now and see what the URI is. Okay, right. Go to functions folder, try again. We need to start to work a little bit more because I've done a few days working 2, 3 hours. Not good. Before I was doing well. Now, after being sick, but now I should be fine. Now, today is the first day I feel really, really good. Let's aim for more. A little bit improvement. 4 hours will be an improvement and build on that every day. Okay, so is creating those functions and where's the new function? Oh, it's not there. It's not there because we didn't export it. Okay, and also the name is not okay. So fetch user data. Okay, now we got it. So now, why is this show me? I did a search, I think. How do I set it? Okay. Yeah, now it's showing everything. I don't understand what happened. Why outline is like that? It's not at the end. Okay, so I need to do index.ts and they are sorted alphabetically, I saw. So export fetch user data from handler slash fetch user data. Surprise, surprise. Okay. So the problem is now it's too late. This will not be caught by this. Oh, while I wait for that, I can check the execution of the functions, the schedule function. We got one execution. That's good. Let's see how it went. Logging. Okay, there is quite a bit. There is quite a bit. DCP startup. Why there is so much? The function is new. 19. Find to event newer than 2 days. Ignoring send event, ignoring delivery event. Okay. Found 0 event older than 3 days. Those for delete. Deleting 0 events. Okay. Deleting accounts, which is the other function, is empty. The only thing I don't understand is this. 819. 821. So this is the deployment effort. The real schedule start is here, 8:35. And here's another deployment event. So the whole function actually took less than a second. Or is it? Or right, 06. Yeah, it took just 200 milliseconds or so to execute. And I have a 9-minute timeout, which is like future proofing for when some work will be need to be done. But it's really overkill. So now I have the new function there. I just wanted to update this as well because I have this style of URL, but I want to keep this style of URL. So that's the contact function. There you go. That's the other URL, a compact one. Let's copy it and we place it here. And I don't know, I like that it's compact, but it calls more DNS lookups. So, because the other way was just a single DNS entry. Okay, so if we run this again, will give me the address of the new function. Besides, the address of new function can be built. Is always the same, this part. Now, what do I know? And the localhost one is actually the most straightforward because I can just do that and then say fetch user data, isn't it? Yeah, that was suggested by AI as well. Completion, fetch user data. Let's fix a little bit the position of the editor. So let's skip this a little bit out. Okay. Excellent. And reduce this. Good. Except the borders, everything is in the screen. So, oh yeah, I think that is okay. But we are gonna double check it when it comes out. Fetch user data it should be there. It's the first one they are mentioned. How many functions I have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is there a limit, a quota limit on that? To this Sunday. Okay. Didn't even know. Might be a good day to work. There you go. So I'm checking my free quota for Google API while it's deploying. Now being 96% for the limit per day, and I have to wait until uh, midnight Pacific time, which here happens to be at 3 p.m. to have a new allowance. But the thing is, this allowance is per project, so I can create as many projects I want. Uh, let's ask Gemini if that's fair or even possible. Okay, that went okay. So let's double check the URL there. Fetch no, fetch. Beside that, it goes lowercase, but it should be case insensitive anyway. Where's fetch user data? contact, fetch interested, fetch user data. Oh, wait a second. Why is it showing different? That's weird. Is this because the first execution is showing the V1 style? Let's reload this. It should appear here too. Here you go. Yeah, and there is the other US star. This is strange. Let's do one more deployment and see if it will correct the URL there. Yeah, so what I was wondering is, the count is something to do later. Let's put it here. Where's Z? Count, yeah, it feels good typing Z, no doubt, but the thing is, it doesn't feel bad to type in VS Code, and there are all the plugins and extensions that make up not more an it's more like an IDE than an editor now. VS Code, they call it editor, but with all the plugins, it's now a lightweight IDE. So I've reached my quota, daily quota. Let's ask that on Gemini for Gemini API use. Just want to find the right name. Request per model per day for project in the free tier. And I have to wait, wow, 5 more hours? About 5 hours and third, and 30, let's say 5 hours, doesn't matter, for the, how do you call it, quota to reset. Um, what stops me to create a new free project or Spark project, which is the free tier Spark project in Google Cloud, update the API key and have a new set of free requests? I'm asking Gemini uh, how to cheat themselves, but yeah, abuse. Yeah, okay. Let's see. What stops you? This makes it complicated and simplified. Okay. When you create multiple projects, there is usually project capable account limited. So okay, yeah, that don't need that many. I just use mhm, a subscription, billing account description, cumbersome. Oh, it's 100 now, not 25 only. Uh-huh. Would creating just 2 projects in total be considered fair use? Projects in total and using 2 API keys be considered fair use? Uh, ouais. Oh, yeah, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, we just maybe I do, maybe I don't. Maybe I wait. I don't really need any AI right now for what I'm doing. And I know I can do it, but I just want to see, I don't want to abuse stuff as well. I want to see what's reasonable. And it says maybe it's not that reasonable if you do it on just to circumventing that. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so we did a new deploy to just check if the name was coming out the same now. Yeah, and I says keep no change detected, which is great, but it doesn't show me the name in that case. Uh, let's do a stupid change. Typically under the exclamation mark, just to force the redeploy of that function. And I was working on this API, and this should work because this matches what we saw, or I saw here, I think, isn't it? There you go, it does match. Interesting that it still match even though there is an ellipse there, so it's like done with CSS. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so that's great. That's all I need. Okay, so I have this URI now. So if I go down here, okay, I will have to use it. Let's put it here for now. Um, so it's a GET request, and I say, well, never done a GET request before. Yes, you know why? Because GET is the default. So maybe I can go check the other fetch, which is probably a GET. Won't have saying GET because GET is default. So yeah, that's why it just does that. It checks the input, and then it checks the response. Response should be always two-handed, but it might not be. Yeah. So, and if we want to try catch those, mm-mm. All right, let's put that. Right, instead of sub ID, we want to pass user ID, which is the one coming from here, and we want to use fetch user data URI instead of fetch interested. There is no such case of security check or stuff like that. It would just return, even if the user does not exist, it will return and not scheduled for deletion. Which is fine. But we just have to wrap this with a try catch because the call can fail for connectivity. In that case, it will not return a response code. It will just uh, get an exception. So what I did, the parentheses there. Okay, good. So in case is an error there, it can be an API error or not. So let's copy this thing. Maybe this thing should be, since we copied it already multiple times, I think this should be a function. It's called, which could be called something like normalize exception. Uh, it's throwing actually. throw normalized exception. Normalized exception. And let's see what it does. Yeah, because in reality, I think that's enough because I'm not doing anything better there. Yeah, okay. So let's use this simplified flow. So here we say throw normalized exception error. We don't need to await it or anything. And we can't even assume it is an error. Sorry. And explicitly any type, and we put there, maybe we'll have a problem. For now, okay, let's do this. Boop, boop, boop. Should we log the real error? Maybe. So let's put this. Hmm. Maybe that's better. And now we got two different messages there, which is not okay. Then it just overrides it. Because if we just override, there is no point in putting anything there. Okay, move on. It's a bit of cleanup. Maybe some tests will fail because of this. But we'll fix them. Ooh. What? What did I break? It seems equivalent, but it's not. So that method is throwing in any case. So it kind of doesn't see that it's throwing. What does it say here? Function lacks empty return statement. That's bad because it doesn't see that this method is throwing. Why it worked before? Because I didn't define the return method before, isn't it? Yeah, which I should. This is the first one I defined the return method. Functions. Okay, let's try with the I. Why do I have this error since the throw normalized exception method always throws an exception. Throws an exception. Before doing that, will you stay open? Let's copy this prompt in case it disappears. I open the terminal and I want to commit this because if the AI does any changes, I want to be able to revert them in case I'm not happy with it. Okay, so everything is committed. Let's submit this thing. Wait, well, I have an accepted change, but no explanation. So I'm not happy with that. Reject. And now check the diff. Mm, and no change. So let's do this in cascade instead. And I say on line 7, oh, let's save the file. On line 70, okay, see, I failed, by the way, but I will see why. Of probably because of this, maybe. We check of API TS. Let's copy relative path. I get at file. Great. SW1 free limited time. Okay, deploy. No. How do I send a message? Just enter and no. I use this a lot of times. But I never noticed there is no button to send. It's a bit bad. Only enter. Okay. Ah, that makes more sense. I never knew about never. Okay, let's see. Of course, it's declared by void the control analysis doesn't recognize the function with always throw an exception. To fix this, you should explicitly declare return type of the function to never. Since the function never returns normally, always throws. Here is how to do it. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that is a good change. I've updated the throw normalized function to declare a return type, but to never, since it always throws an exception and never returns normally. This changed the TypeScript that the function will never complete normal mentioned attribute, but never TypeScript. We saw TypeScript error we see in 970 that occurred because TypeScript control flow analysis couldn't determine that the function would always throw. Okay, that's good. So in fact, let's going back to lines. Ah. Now it didn't resolve the error, but I think I have to do pipe never. Or maybe is one of those cases where windsurf is stuck to not recognizing the change, which happened before. And let's restart the windsurf. Maybe the error is still there, but worth checking that. It's still there, yeah. So let's say at files. Ah, nice. Those are those open, yeah. IPITS on line 70 gives me the error. that. Let's go to check the CI. I think it will have the same error, but I don't know until I look. Yeah, that's correct. Same error. Now, so this is despite. So normalize exceptions always throws. We have to await it, no, right? No, always throws, and its return type is never. Coffee finished. There's some water. I had to go easy on coffee. I was drinking too much. Now I think just 1 cup per day. Let's see if I can do that. That's the first cup of the day, and it's like 10 a.m. Let's see what it says. A lot. Let me check. Blah, blah. Let me check. Da, da, da. I see the issue. TypeScript error occurs because the compiler isn't properly recognized that the throw normalized exception will always throw an exception and never return. So that was never supposed to do that. Let me check the fetch call fetch trusted API function. Okay. Let me check the renaming part of the function to see its handling, to see how it's handling the return statement. Okay. TypeScript compiler isn't recognized. Ooh, ooh. Will always turn exception, so its mark as return never. The TypeScript will still be expected to return statement. Ah, nice. I didn't know that. Actually, it's not nice. It's weird because it throws exception. Why do you have to return it? Mm. Okay, so that's the change. Very interesting. Yeah, that's true. And now the arrow is gone. How interesting. So for consistency, let's change all the others. Okay, it was two more. Yeah, I will need to define a type so I can share it. But yeah, let's go back and check if I have more of those same checks that I can factorize together. Um, Not here, but I think it's a mistake because there should have been. There's no tie catch here. There's a tie catch there. Hmm. Well, it gives me the login to let's add it. keep them consistent. Good. So move on. Same. Yeah, let's make that consistent. Catch. Didn't need that, is it? Okay, so that's it. That's it. That's it. I think I broke some tests. I have a feeling. Let's start to commit and push this and do npm run test here or just npm test. No, I didn't. Oh, yes, I did. There you go. Yeah, it's because I changed the message there. Yeah. So let's go API tests. Execute them here. Now we can click on that one. Why doesn't go there? Show result upload. So if I click on this one, I expect to go there, but it does not. Here anyway, I see 969, so I can go there by hand. So it looks expecting connection error, but in reality, I just return in the same thing now. It doesn't tell me what it was. Something went wrong. Press it again. Okay. And I'm happy with that. So I changed this to say that. Which is the same. No need to change the description of the test. And I run that again. And it's green. So let's now commit and push. And that should have solved the issue. So check in CI. The latest execution. Come on. Is here. And oh, it fails even before. Eh? Oh, the anything. Anything. The any space thing. The any stuff. That is a problem because if I don't put any, I have another error. Let's do this. Close API test. And the problem is here, this one. Yep. So I'm gonna open Cascade, create a totally new chat, and say this. Let's say the syntax file to help it. Why it doesn't go? Paste again. No, it doesn't go. Ah, let's try this at file. API go. Oh no, now it goes. Okay. So probably because it wasn't resolved, they didn't let me send a message. Unknown. Yeah, so it's suggesting something. Let's see what the AI first tells here. Yep. Let's go to the known. Any for the script, let's fix this specific type. Since handler, we can use unknown type, which is the type safe counter pound. Oh, it's type safe, is unknown. They didn't know. Okay, okay. Let's see if that works. So terminal I mean, let's keep on reading while it runs the test. Because it requires type checking before operation. Don't know what that means. What type checking if it's unknown? This is running. Type checking. That's where I failed at test. It works. Or maybe they have failed. I don't know. Moving on. What I want to do is to have a type for this fetch deleting. So that type should be shared between front end and back end. So it goes in shared. So good. Yeah? SRC, my types. So I got subscription, subscription state, and list description, not much. So we create an export interface, deleting info. So we'll have a deleting field. I think it's called deleting string for now, but I will fix it. Okay, semicolon. Yep, so that's the DAO. Going backwards, we can close this DAO. Yeah, there's a deleting field which contains this stuff more or less. I'm not sure what type is a timestamp. We have to see again another DAO. See what I did before. Because subscription, okay, it's a timestamp. It's just seconds. So I think there is an int number. Yeah, number. And I call it TS second. Maybe I had to keep the same TS sec, the same convention. But I think when it goes there on the database, timestamp is fine, not timestamp second, because it's a proper field, a data field, a timestamp field. And we figure out how to do that. But now the deleting type is this one. I think I can define it in line if I want. No, what is that description? What? Because my types. Oh, what's this? DTS. Oh, there was something generated, I guess. This is the right one. Okay. So deleting instead of this string is a compost type, composite type, where user ID is a string. Mean delete timestamp second is a number. Schedule timestamp second is a number. And this deleting is a boolean. Okay. And this is only that. Is it deleting info a good name? Because normally it isn't. To deleting data. deleting state, deleting progress, deleting what? We stay with deleted info for now. So we have this data. Now we can, we also need this subtype. So let's define it explicitly. Export interface, deleting, and I have to think now, because this would be that, and this would be deleting, probably to be renamed. Okay. So okay, so this is maybe rename it. Yeah. This is better called delete status, and that as well. Delete status, and then delete info is not bad, I guess. So now, if I go to deleting now, I can say I can rename this. It's fetching delete status. And we can also say that actually return a promise of delete status, where I need to import delete status from shared type, my types, maybe JS, I don't know. So now it says there is no exported delete status. Maybe because I need a build. Or maybe because it doesn't work. What's right? We have a problem in the DAO. Not in the DAO. It's in the fetch user data handler, because now we renamed the DAO function to be fetch delete status by user ID. So we need to update that. And we can call this delete status, as we said. So that means here too. Okay. So very slowly going backwards again. Now it's complaining that this one doesn't have these two fields, which is good. Let's put, I could make them optional. No, I can put them 0 in there. I think I like that more. So now this is clear. However, this is all good. Where's that used? Here. And now I want to say that I want to create a explicit object called delete info. And the reason why I want to create a specific object is why I want the type checking to tell me I'm doing the right thing. So let's put it there empty. It's called delete info. Oh, it's deleting info. Let's call it delete info, not deleting. I have to be careful now, because this fetch. Okay, hold on. One by one. So let's import it. Oh, it looks good. But the problem is says it's not used. What does it say actually? It says there is no exported info. Maybe I didn't export it. Oh, I did. Okay, let's try a build again. Hmm. Okay, I think it's all good, no? So the only thing that is complain about, yeah, okay, yeah, the type, this doesn't work though. That's good. So now let's put this here and we return delete info. Oh, and now the type is checked. A bit convoluted, yeah? I don't need to declare it here. I just need to say that this returns. Nothing returns the info yet. So later there will be a sub function in the info. So delete info. So I guess it's fine for now. Did I just rename something that will cause a function to be renamed? I don't think so. Okay. So ah, let's go back to the API. Yeah, I'm already hungry. So it's only 10 a.m. How is it possible? API. Oh, yeah. Okay. You know what? We don't have a successful build yet. Let's commit and see if we have a successful build. In the meantime, let's look at this. Call fetch user data. Mhm. Doesn't have a return time, but it should have. Ooh, and it's not even returning anything. Not yet. So let's say that. Where's the other fetch? Hmm, this one. So we say the response okay. There you go. There we can just get the raw data. You don't need to um, change anything. So we got to what I'm looking the wrong file. We got to here, checking the response. Now we get to here where from the shared types we get delete status. Why does it do 2 times? And we can just return that actually and declare it here if that works. Okay, so now I've done that. When I go back here, oh my god, why is not the call? Who calls this? Why I should be able to click and go? Why it doesn't go? Find, but it's fine. Find in folder. Okay. Oh, nobody calls that? No, not yet. Not yet. Okay. But now you can say this return a delete status. So where do we have to call it? We have to call it in, okay, Magic Subscription was an example on how stuff get called. So for example, on mount, we are going to call the API. Okay, so one thing I need is in the page here. Once I connect, I will get that user ID. That's the one I need for the query. So let's go find the page. Components. Oh, there it is. And area delete. Okay, I got this thing called user, which is defined as a user, maybe. It should have some sort of user ID, but I don't see it. UID, there you go. I So in here, display name as add the user ID for now, just to see if it works. It's already checked for null before coming to this page. No, it was called UID. Okay, so let's do the connect with Google. Oh, now I am cold. Reduce the account. Nothing displayed here because no, it's hold on. Mm, don't know why it's even running because I not even running. It works on a cached page. Incredible. Then I think I have the issue that when I reload the page, it forgets to log in, which is bad. But I guess this will go for later. I never see that behavior, but I kind of feel, or maybe I saw it indirectly. Okay, that's already running. NP difference. Okay, npm answer because we are not in the functions folder. npm answer starting the functions. Okay, and there you go. So let's reload the page. Connect with Google. No, that should never happen. Okay. Oh, that's good. That's a user ID. Nice. Nice. So here we need to put a spin in reality. Ah, right. Uh, so I think I already have. Oh, do we have a spinner component? Yeah, I do. I already have it. So somewhere here I have already a loading dot dot dot. Where was that? Was in area connect maybe? No, okay, this is before login. There was another one, maybe in layouts. Delete me maybe? Ah, there you go. So instead of this loading, we can put the spin. Mm, that's it. And the import was already added for me. Mm. Yes, this is too fast to actually see the spinner. Uh, but, but it's there. I never saw loading either. Yeah, it's there just in case. Now, the thing is, instead of delete personal data, I don't know, this will be removed. It's just there now for debugging purposes. Now, actually, I can remove it now. Um, I don't know if I need this button or the cancel button. So I have to initially display a spinner based on some state. We are talking about array delete. So that's where we can remove the user ID. Now we know it works. That's great. Yeah, the button delete. Instead of button delete, let's comment it out maybe. We want a spinner. Okay. So let's see. Okay. Oh, why go so stuck to that side? Because if I put back the button delete, it wasn't that flash there, isn't it? Oh yeah, it was. It's just with the spin, it looks different. Oops, what did I do? Looks a bit different. And I can't target. Can I target the component with CSS like that? Can I do dot spinner or spinner? I've never done that before. Empty CSS. Margin, right? 20 pixels. Oh, let's say something exaggerated, 50 pixels just to test. A new CNS selector spin. How do I target? Can I? Oh, Gemini. Can I target a Svelte component with CSS example? I tried, but it does not. Okay. My machine doesn't work in CSS, is not a valid HTML tag name. Here's how you can target CSS. The most for flexible give a Svelte component HTML class which can target CSS. Ah, that's not cool. Yeah, parent component. Ah, ah. No idea. Okay, I like that. So you just have to say class spinner. I say it lowercase. And now, oh, you can't. No. So you have to add the parameters to it, as I suppose. Mm. Margin. If I add margin everywhere, it's gonna not work. Um, if we do that, and then I say spinner, which is the class of the div. How can I output a variable? Oh yeah, sure, 10 purpose. Yeah. No, there is something not working. Property value expected. Oh, in Svelte 5, I want to pass a margin value to a component. Oof, same with the dollar once again. Aye, it's okay. Uh, I tried this, but it doesn't work. Mm. Oh, CSS custom pop. Is that like that? Ah, style. I like that. I like that. Ah. So why is that saying it's not used? Because uh, external reference, no? Mm, that doesn't work. Or does it? Ah, this is global, yeah. Uh, this, uh, this is the other. What? This is not the latest question I asked. Yeah, that's not the latest question. So where did I ask the other question? Ah, include. Okay. So this doesn't work because there's no connection. Mm, okay. Yeah, okay, let's do that like that. So remove that. It doesn't work. And it's already I'm already using it even so even oh my god. Yeah, that's it. And now uh, mm, now going back to my spinner in here, I can finally specify a margin which says top and bottom 0, left and right. Yeah, all right. 30 pixel and 0, 0, like this. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Can do even more. I have to be cautious about this. This is fine. I can do more. Yeah, can do 50 quite easily. Okay, there we go. That was hard. Was simple change, but we got it. So now we have to do this state where when we go here, we know that we are connected. So we need a known mount function similar to what we do the on mount. So it will be somewhere here, maybe the first function. And now this on mount needs to be imported. Okay, from Svelte. Good. This on mount will have some state, a phase. Yeah, let's call it phase again. So define it here. Phase will be just loading or next for now. We'll change this name once I figure out the states. Pipe. Yeah. So phase starts loading. That's great. Where is now? Oh, okay. That was easy. Um, why that didn't output an error in the CI? Wouldn't be worried now. So here I can do the if finally. If phase is loading. Now we show the spin. I have some problem with the syntax. Let's check the syntax. Is column if? Okay. Hash if and colon else. A stupid syntax. Yeah, if phase is loading, show the spinner. Else, let's start to show just button delete for now. Will be more checks. Mm. Be better to format this like this. Yeah. So the phase can be loading, can be um, deletion in progress, or can be no deletion in progress. So loading, deleting, and not deleting. Mm. Will delete, not deleting, maybe. So there you go. So here I can say if could be a switch statement, but if it's not deleting, show the button delete. Otherwise, mm, show the button cancel, which is the thing I copied long ago. Ready for being put here. And I will be formatted, and now I copy the import as well, put it there. Let's put it as first. Let's go check it. Okay. Loading, not deleting, or cancel. Good. So now, what actually happens is that it always stays loading because we don't do anything here. But what we're gonna do is calling the API to do what? To do call fetch user data, which returns a delete status. Is that right? No, it should return a delete info. Yep. Not right. Mm. So we call fetch user data with the user ID. So the user ID being user UID. Okay, the problem is I have to import that guy. And I also have to say I know it's not null. Mm, okay, where is the API? Okay, there. And why is this not working? UID does not exist. in user, readable user. What's readable user? Do I need to do something to get to the user? Because here I just call it. Let's try to see dot, my goodness, dot. Don't want to subscribe, no. Let's do that for now. It's a little bit of a problem. Mm. Maybe not amount is not fine. Unsubscribe is a function. Hmm. What? Expected one or two arguments and got zero. Uh, So I guess has to be done a little bit different. I want to fetch every time it changes. On mount, I just subscribe. Okay, let's put this here for memory. Okay, okay. So here I just subscribe. I subscribe what? I subscribe a function. Void. Uh, Not sure how. So new chat. How does user subscribe work? Do I need to pass a function to it? Should I pass the path? No, it doesn't have context. But maybe we look at open tabs. Yeah, you're looking at open tab. That's good. The user is a Svelte store that's created using readable. Here is how user subscribe works. The user store is a Svelte readable store that tracks Firebase authentication state. The subscribe method is sent to changes to the store value. That's great. Exclamation in the non-Italian TypeScript, the user is definitely not null, and we know that. This is not actually the recommended way to use subscribe because it's missing the callback function. Yep, I know. I just want to see an example. It's not storing a subscribe function, which would lead to memory leaks. Uh, Here is how we should use it. Why didn't I copy the last bit? Oh yeah, I did. But what is complaining about? Hold on. I know I will have to do that. That's fine. But I'm looking at that component. You can use the dollar syntax for an automatic subscription management. Is that Svelte 5? It doesn't look like. Uh, I don't think you are showing me Svelte 5 syntax. You're absolutely right. In Svelte 5, you can simplify this using runes. Mm. Ah, oh, that's really good. All the code goes away. Everything. I'll just say user ID or user ID is user UID. That looks very good. Now we can do that. The problem is, hmm, do you mean to? I know if I'm here, that is not undefined because there is another check that in delete me, we are working on area delete and check there is a user. Okay, just pause it. Pause my way through. I see the issues. The warning is occurring because you are using derived with user on the onMount callback, but the value of UID is currently captured on component mount, so won't update on user later. The ID derivation outside the onMount to make it reactive. Use the derived state inside the onMount. Okay. Remove the non-null accessions. Yeah. Apart that I don't need it, but do I still need on mount? How to run the call fetch user data function every time the UID changes or the user changes? You can add a reactive call. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it should be exactly equivalent because this function only comes here when UID changes. But yeah, it can be undefined, but it shouldn't. But it's good to have a check. Okay. So now we have to await that. and I cannot do that. In effect, I think I can just call something that the function is asynchronous and just throw it. Yeah, that's what it does. Can be an anonymous function like that, but maybe it's better to this is cumbersome. So like, the thing is, we don't only need the phase, we also need another variable with this stuff, delete info. So we don't need on mount anymore first. So we do let delete info of type in equal state. The only problem is, yeah, I know it's not right. Right, if I do that should not work. It's missing its status or undefined. What about that? And we start undefined. Okay, that works. So, I don't like this. So let's say create a new function. I don't like this either. Let's make const handle image error equal. Okay. And we create a new function called const. Maybe put it above there. The const. It's a function that will call fetch user data. No handle definitely not. And ultimately update. The whole thing is not to the goal is not to call the function, but is to update delete info. So let's call it update delete info. Okay, so no, it's a sync, but no arguments. And and now can await that, and now we can delete all this shitty code and say, oh yeah, we need the UID. UID string, and we can say update delete info, passing the UID. Now much better to read, and that's it. This is it. But now we really need to update delete info. So we say delete info equal to that. So we don't need this comment anymore. Okay. And nobody's reading the info yet. It's fine. So now we can do another little step, which is update the phase as well. If delete info dot delete status is deleting, maybe we don't need an if, but we'll say this phase equal. If that is deleting, then we go to the will delete phase. Otherwise not deleting. Okay, that's it. Oh, that should be progress. Now we will be able to show button delete after the spinner. And in fact, that's what happened. Spin, and then delete personal data. Wow, that looks great. That looks great. I think we can wrap up this as an initial feature, and then we go on with the rest afterwards. So for the rest, will be like making an action on this to schedule a delete, and then to show what's being deleted or what will be deleted and the time. Okay, so let's check that. Check terminal, close this. Okay, quite a bit of changes. Add, commit and push. Nice, nice. Think we can have a break, but first, let's review the PR. And let's check the test pass. Last one passed, which is a good sign. This is the next execution. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. In the meantime, oh, this is an old message. Okay. We can check the PR. Okay. So we got the new deleting DAO. Okay, that's fine because that's the name of the collection. This is the return delete status. Then we got interested DAO, just simplify that, not a big deal. We move stuff around. This is fetch user data handler, which at the moment just returns the delete status, but we'll add more things. Then this is like just moving files around. The new schedule function, which is a common entry point. So we have only one schedule function, but we run multiple jobs, which is fine because we go for 9 minutes and we just need 200 milliseconds now, but we'll go a little bit, but perhaps still pretty fast. Then, yeah, we remove that. I did a new fetch user data. This is like the service data account. So it's now only like stub and process events. Is not anymore a scheduled function, but it's called by the scheduled function, which sounds funny, but that's the name. Delete status, okay, the new type, which is shared between bit backend and front end. Area delete. That's the new thing that working great with use effect. Now on arrow, this was syntax, and then we never show cancel yet because we can only be in these two phases for now, but this will change. We added the possibility to put a margin on nice, I like the change in the layout. A margin on the spinner, good. Spinner, we're using the spinner instead of just the loading text. And we added the new fetch user info. We normalize some of the functions. Fetch user data. There you go. That's the thing. So I'm happy with all of this. So I'm gonna merge. Delete the branch. So now I'm going to git checkout main. git pull, git fetch all, git branch, git del fetch user data. Oh, that's good. So, well, it's baby steps. Ooh. Oh, this stays like that because I shut down the backend. Yeah, and deploy and serve. Deploy later. No, it's just a baby step. Okay, you just have to be in the functions folder and serve. This will be fixed as soon as this is deployed. We have to reload the page. So I said before I had the feeling that was not keeping the user on reload, but I was wrong. It does keep, which is good. Perhaps doesn't keep if I close the browser, which is probably okay because it's pretty quick to just sign in, connect with Google. I could remember that too, perhaps. Now I have to concentrate on the feature functionality, not on these details. So this is running now. If I reload the page, ooh, oh, okay. It was slow because I had to prime the function. It's newly deployed. Okay, it does work. Well, I'm happy with that. It looks good. So I will take up 3 hours. 3 hours. Okay. I will now take a break, I guess. I want to do the next step, which is actually delete, which will actually schedule a deletion. Nice, nice, nice. It looks it looks good for me. Okay, so end the stream here and we'll continue after break. 3 hours. Okay, good day.